I've been using Grammarly, so my emails come across very polished and very intelligently written. But they, in fact, are not that well written, and Grammarly comes in and cleans them up. So
It's a
recently,
brilliant tool.
in our organization, we had a change in use of AI and ML policy, and Grammarly is blocked. So
No,
that
that's a
keeps me up
disaster.
at night what emails I'm sending. The second thing that actually bugs me is I've become quite heavily reliant in a nice way to improve my own professional productivity.
Mhm.
From doing videos using AI tools, from summarization, from deep research to thinking. The first thing I do, and I've forgotten Google search, Google probably won't like this. Those are some of the things at a personal level I keep thinking.
Yeah, it's very good, but and I'm hearing that more and more now. Like AI is great, and even from a project perspective, but are we going to lose our skills, and what happens to the next generation? But I am really interested that they've targeted Grammarly because out of all the AI tools out there, if you can call that an AI tool, I would have thought Grammarly is pretty. I mean, I can't see any huge risks with using something that polishes your grammar. But there you go. Maybe they've done it just to keep you sharp, Anil.
We have homeworks, assignments, projects for our students that ask them explicitly to use ChatGPT. But then, would we slow down in development of critical thinking, problem solving skills if there is so much heavy reliance on ChatGPT, for example? Would we not be providing these students first principles using which they could maybe compute a schedule, maybe identify issues with an estimate or bill of quantities? So, sure.
Jugal, what about you?
Yeah, what keeps me up at night? Honestly, I think coffee.
Yeah,
But
it will do that.
be, beyond that, I think we are kind of in a very interesting time in our industry right now, wherein we have been transitioning, but now with the current technology trend, it is really forcing people to think how would we transform.
Sure. So I think if you look at the first part of the first in the series of articles, you will see that we tried to answer that question by framing three dimensions across which you can evaluate your application or use case of AI. So obviously, complexity of the problem in hand is very useful dimension to evaluate. And then you have availability of data as another dimension. And lastly, we thought it may be useful to talk about additionality.
So we still have a long way to go because, as we know, we're not fully standardized yet. Yoshi, do you want to come in here?
Yeah, I think for me, it was just actually focusing back onto that black box because I recently saw Anthropic released, they gave more information about their mechanistic interpretability technique, right? And they kind of doubled down on the idea, not the idea, but like the method that AI is not programmed, it's trained, right? So if we're all trained on something, we will still end up doing something differently than each other because we're trained slightly differently, right? We've taken all of our culture, all of our experiences to do that differently. My question is within that black box, how can we actually come to understand it? Because we mentioned we have to standardize a lot of this information, but even if you have the data there, it's how does the AI actually work with that data? What's its thought process that we still haven't sussed out? So how do you think that we can how do you think we can solve that within the construction industry? Because it's a challenge that we're still facing in big tech, right? Do you think we follow the big tech players
I
as an
think
applied industry,
you,
or do you think we can just rely on the data? Because there needs to be some level of signposting as well, right?
I think humans fundamentally we are lazy. There are
Yeah.
very few of us who probably would want to put in that hard work. And technology, yeah, at times it's kind of blamed for being making us lazy, but it is here to help us. So it will help us in doing some of the more, I wouldn't say obviously complex tasks, but also some of those mundane tasks, right? So like, yeah, no one likes writing a report and no one likes reading a report, right? We enjoy conversations, like we enjoy talking about things and we like doing things. What we don't like is about, let's say, documenting all of that and putting it into a form where people would read it and all of that. So I think the steps that we don't like, people would gravitate towards adopting it for that. And as Anil said, human will always have to be in the loop, right? So it is irrespective of, let's say, whatever cost plan it generated for you, someone needs to take it and implement it. Right. So the fundamentals of our role is going to change for better. Right. We would get more time, more opportunity to do the actual things that we like rather than sitting in an office and writing a 100-page report, which no one is going to read. Things up AI in a way has democratized a lot of things, right? So AI in a way is democratized, like what Google Maps did with mapping,
Exactly.
right? So let's say the chat GPTs and the large language models have democratized AI and made it easier for people to access it, adopt it. Whereas yeah, I don't think we should compare BIM and AI because they're two different things. BIM is a process of, let's say, structuring and standardizing and delivering an information model, which can then be kind of connected with AI to extract insight. So these are two different things, but there is obviously a difference in the way both of these are positioned and the level of democratization that has happened in both of these aspects. Yeah.
Project Flux is here.
That's a wrap for today's episode. But before you go, exciting news. Project Flux is teaming up with Project Management Global to bring you the latest in AI-driven project delivery and essential management insights. Through this partnership, expect weekly AI insights, practical tools, and expert thought leadership, ensuring you stay ahead in the evolving project landscape. Stay tuned for exclusive content, joint research, and strategies to supercharge your project outcomes. You can learn more at www.pm-global.co.uk and be part of the future of project management. See you later.
Project Flux is here.
Just want to give a big shout out to our sponsors, Construct AI. For anyone interested in looking at Construct AI, the link's in our show notes. There's a free tier that you can play around with. Yoshi and I have been using it for a good year since it was originally launched, and we get a huge amount of value out of it. So I thoroughly encourage everyone to go onto the Construct AI site and have a play around.
Cool. And guys, before we sign off, please don't forget to share, follow, and like all of our stuff. So that helps us to engage with you and understand a bit more about what you want so we can bring it to your doorstep as early as possible.
See you later, everyone.